And now for the news. This isn't actually news at all. It looks like a news desk, I know. This is going to be quite a sort of tall tale, I suppose, but it'll be a true tale, and it involves the mysterious and wondrous travels of a fuel tank, a Triumph fuel tank. Well, it's supposed to be a Triumph fuel tank. It's a tale of travel, mystery, intrigue, and even, I think, veiled threats of violence. But anyway, let's get this tank out. This is the box that it originally arrived in from India. Yes, it's one of those. And what happened, obviously, many of you might know, for a living, I work on old motorbikes. Repairing, restoring, rebuilding, that sort of thing. And one of my customers a few years ago in fact, he had a Triumph TR6 pre-oiling frame trophy, which had the export tank on it. You know, those lovely narrow tanks with the lovely paint jobs and eyebrow badges and everything. Well, the tank on it looked great, but it leaked. So he decided that he'd buy a new tank for it. And he knew that there were tanks available in India, so he bought one. I had my reservations, but he said, oh no, he said some of them are pretty good quality. And anyway, this turned up, and it certainly seems to be well made, and it's a very heavy gauge sort of steel that it's made of as well. I took the original leaky tank off his trophy and set about fitting that one, only to find, unfortunately, that the shape, they hadn't got the shape quite right. Whether it'll come out on the camera or not, but the sort of nose of it that butts up against the front of the seat was a little bit too wide. The curves and the indentations at the knee pads, a few things weren't quite right, but it sort of looked there or thereabouts. But the problem was, it didn't fit, and it showed too much of the headstock and the frame behind the headstock. And the mounting holes were out by about, I think, about half an inch. Now, with a little bit of fiddling about and work and welding, this one could have been moved, because I think, if I remember, I think they were too close together, so it wouldn't have been too hard to move them further away from each other. Those are fixed, of course. Wouldn't have been too hard to do something with that one, but I hope we're not getting too much wind noise here now. The owner decided that because the shape wasn't bang on, that he'd like to get his old tank repaired and send this back to India where he bought it for a refund. So I had the tank here, he lived the other side of Cardiff, and I posted it back for him. It cost a lot of money, it cost about 135 quid to post it back to India, but he got a refund which was bigger than that. It was a couple of hundred, I believe, and he was happy. The tank had gone, we got the other one repaired, great stuff. That was the end of it, or so I thought. No, about 9 months later, I think it was, this package turned up, and I didn't know what it would be. I hadn't ordered anything, I had no idea what it might be, but I thought, well, I better open it, and I hope it's not a bomb or anything. And to my surprise, it was this tank in the same box that it came from India in. I presume perhaps it went on its way back to India. It might have even got there for all I know, and sort of spent quite a few months out in the wilderness and then landed back here. Well, the owner of the Triumph, who originally wanted the tank and then changed his mind, he was happy. He'd had a refund, he'd got his tank repaired, his bike was fixed and long gone. I got this tank. He'd had his money back, he didn't want it, so I thought, well, I'll just sort of hang on to it and see if I can use it or sell it or whatever at some point. It doesn't owe me anything really. I'll put it to one side. Anyway, I was using, what do they call it, a popular online auction site, and I put a few items for sale on it, and I thought I might as well put that tank on. So I put the tank on it, and There was no interest at all in it, and I think I must have had it on there perhaps for the best part of a couple of years maybe, and I'd almost forgotten about it. And then all of a sudden, looking through my emails, I see congratulations, you've sold your item. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun a little bit here actually, thinking about it. What happened was I got a question about it. That's right, a question. Would I accept £30 less than what I was offering it for sale for? And I thought, well, it's been for sale for quite a while. There's been no bites, no interest. Yeah, go on, why not then? So the sale was agreed, and I used the links provided to send the guy an offer reduced by £30, which he could have clicked on and accepted, and we could have done a deal. But by that time he'd already paid the full asking price, but asked me to stick £30 in an envelope. Now I've got to admit, at this point I was starting to think, is this a bit of a scam? Is someone going to try and do me for £30 in cash? Not sure about this one, but anyway, I thought, well, he'd asked if I dropped the price. He seemed interested, no one else had. Well, I'll give it a go, I'll take a gamble. So he paid the full asking price. I packed the tank up, put an envelope in the parcel with £30 cash in it. Ooh, that was a risk, wasn't it? Anyway, off it went. I posted it. A couple of days later, a message pings up in my emails. Item return request. What's this? Had a look at it. It's the petrol tank. Seems that the guy who bought it wants to send it back. He can't be happy with it. I wonder what's the matter. Now, in my description, when I put it for sale in the advert, my description clearly stated that the shape wasn't quite right, and that it didn't fit, and that is why it wasn't used, and that is why it was for sale. So I was quite surprised when I saw his reason for wanting to return it was because it didn't fit. Now, I don't know whether he read my description. I really don't think so, because the only other alternative is he must be absolutely thick. Because if I saw a description of something I might be interested in for sale, like this tank, and then I saw that the reason for it being for sale was it didn't fit, I don't really think I'd buy it and then attempt to fit it and then complain that I wanted my money back because it didn't fit. But that's what happened. Now, I'm not going to name the bloke, because he did send the tank back and the cash actually, which much to my surprise actually. But I won't use real names, but I think I'll refer to him as maybe Richard Head. Work it out for yourselves. Anyway, I've got the tank back. I've got to send a refund now, and hopefully, oh, and that was another thing, he scared the crap out of me actually, because at one point I said that I wouldn't be sending a refund, to which he replied, oh yes you will, I'll bring it round myself. Not quite sure what that was all about. I think he perhaps was going to offer me a good hiding or something, but at the end of the day it was all down to his own not paying attention to the description of the item. So everybody who may be interested in buying something on a popular online auction site, please read the descriptions, because you could save people who don't need trouble, don't want trouble, and have got better things to do than piss about sending things backwards and forwards in the post for you to sort of browse and then decide you don't want them because you couldn't be bothered to read the description. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope nobody else has to put up with the same sort of crap as I did with this tank, but I think I was tempted to make a video of me flattening it with a sledgehammer, but I think actually it can take pride of place on one of my shelves with lots of other items that have got stories to tell. So there we are. That's the story of the replacement Triumph fuel tank that didn't fit and was for sale because it didn't fit. Thanks for watching.